My plan today is to do a day of travel photography around the city. I like to do this quite a lot, and I've done it before in a few different destinations. I've done it here in Amsterdam before as well. I find it a really nice way to try and be creative with photography and travel photography in particular. Today I wanted to try and bring you guys along with me, make a little bit of a YouTube video that's fun, but also maybe bringing people along with me as I experience the city, so hopefully you guys can experience a new destination as well, what it's like to discover and try and take some photos too, and maybe just inspire, act as a little bit of inspiration for your own trips and travels. So I have a little bit of a plan. I do like to plan these trips a little bit. Of course, allowing for a bit of freedom, but in general I have a bit of a structure for my day. Most importantly, or more so, I like to just plan where I'm going to be at what time. So just try and time the light and to make sure that I'm in the right destinations when the light is best. Still early, which gives us plenty of time for the day. I'm still close to the area of the city where I'm staying right now. So I think my plan for right now is just to walk into the city, get my bearings a little bit, get used to the city, try and snap some photos and videos along the way. And then after that, go and look for a little bit of lunch. And then after that, as the day goes on, to try and be at the key areas for sunset time as the light gets better. Looking at the weather right now, in the middle of the day, the light is going to be pretty sunny and harsh. So I think at that time, I'm just going to try and snap some street photography. And then later on, hopefully we get a nice sunset and some nice light. And that's when I want to try and be at the kind of key destinations that I want to photograph. Okay, so I have just walked to an area called the Pipe. I think from the research I did a little bit beforehand, apparently this is a more residential area than say like the center, the touristic part of town. So I think that's going to be nice to get to not just always be in the touristic areas and get some photos of like what, you know, capture some photos of the feel of the city. I mean, I'm not sure what type of neighborhood this is, so maybe how true to the feel of the city is, I'm not quite sure, but it feels pretty residential, more cafes, more restaurants, boutique shops, things like this. So I think this is a little bit better than the center for sure. So try and get some photos around here, the architecture, some street photography, things like that.
While there were indeed still a few tours around this area, it did feel a little more residential, and I was able to get a few snaps of everyday life in the city. Bicycles and ivy-covered shop fronts definitely gave me a small taste of what life in Amsterdam has to offer.
A lot of people that maybe haven't been to Amsterdam have like a notion of the city that it's famous for this or that, but like one of my favorite things about being here is the architecture, especially in the summer months. It's very green, there's loads of trees in the streets, and it mixes so well with that like classic Amsterdam architecture, the Dutch architecture style. Of course with the canals too, and it all just comes together so well. So for anybody that's like into like photographing buildings or anything like that, I think this is like a really perfect city to be in.
I continued to wander through the neighbourhood, observing my surroundings and capturing what I could. With the light varying so much, I wanted to concentrate on the little details, such as miniature street libraries, flower-covered doorways, and windows to boutique vintage stores. Details that will fill in the gaps in the story that I'm trying to tell. Soon though, I was hungry, and I found a perfect little sandwich shop where I could rest and have a bit of lunch.
Okay, so that was a ridiculously good sandwich. I can't even remember the name of the place now, but I highly recommend for anybody that's going to Amsterdam. And I think it was run by Dutch people, but it was an Italian sandwich place, so that's one of the great things about cities like this, but Amsterdam in particular, is that it's so multicultural. There's so many different countries here, different cultures, different foods, so much different stuff going on here. It's really great. So now I'm about to head to the museum quarter, the Rijksmuseum, around that area, just to take a few midday photos. The light is super harsh. It's changing a lot. So not really expecting anything great here, but just to get some snaps throughout the day. It's also super busy, and it's a Sunday, and this is one of the biggest tourist areas of the city, so I'm expecting there to be lots of people, lots of tourists in particular. So photos of tourists, maybe people drinking coffee, people interacting with the buildings, whatever's going on. So just having a look, see what we can get. Then after that, I'll probably just chill for a while. I'd head back to my accommodation and rest up for a few hours, and then I'll wait until the sunset, go out again, and hopefully try and get some nice, good sunset golden hour photos. And we're back. As you can see, I'm back in the center of Amsterdam now. So I've deliberately left like the key photos that I want to get until the light is best, and I'm hoping that we're going to get a good sunset there now. So hopefully, if I'm lucky, of course you can only plan these things as much as possible, but I like to do it as best as I can to try and leave as little down to luck as possible. Hopefully everything comes together. Hopefully we get a good sunset, which I think the light is going to be nice anyway regardless, so we should be able to get some nice pictures. I have a little bit of a walk kind of mapped out in my Google Maps already, so I'm starting here in one of the key areas, or I don't even know what it's called, to be honest, but it's a photo that I want to get. I'm going to start here, I'm going to do the walk, and I should finish like around sunset blue hour time, so all going well, we get some nice photos, and that'll end the day, hopefully on a high. As you can see, the light is pretty decent. A little bit under time pressure, so I gotta hurry to get the last spots, but so far so good. Good light, and got a few nice photos, I think. What I love about European cities is just like how they come alive around this time. You know, everybody comes out for a beer, drinking on the streets, coffee, even it's never too late to have a coffee. Yeah, it's great. The atmosphere is like so good, and it's kind of contagious. And that contagious feeling had me in a great mood as I finished my photo walk for the evening. In the end, the last light was a little bit underwhelming in ways, but in other ways, the muted sky added to the natural ambience of the city. And with that in mind, I tried my very best to shoot in a way that tied everything together. Everything that I mentioned earlier. The canals, the greenery, the building, and the relaxed mood around the city. Trying to find a finishing touch that would wrap up my day in Amsterdam. So that's it for today. That was my last stop just now. I think overall the day went well. Maybe I was a little bit late with the sunset for the last location, which I was kind of hoping to be the nicest. Didn't really work out as I expected, but whatever, you have that sometimes. And overall, I had a super fun day. So yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed these videos. I definitely enjoyed making it, and it was something different. A bit of a challenge for me too, to make video and take photos at the same time. So if you like it, stay tuned. I'll have more coming soon. And until then, if you want to watch a full POV video without having to listen to me talk, you can just click on this video here. Have a good one.